go dig all the way. I dig into my brain. I want to dig to the last fact to understand what are my disabilities, how is it causing my life, how is it affecting the quality of my life. Now this lesson is go back to the slide, I think this section. Yeah, this section. No, the one before this. It's a different learning ability rather than a disability. That's why in my talk, I hardly use the word learning disability. I don't like negative words. I like to sell hope. I do not want to sell fear. Because I know most of the people here, everybody fear words very well. Right? You sell fear, people come to you straight away. I don't believe in that. Because I believe as a human being, we are all here on this earth for a purpose. And actually, our life is very short here. Our time frame here is very, very short. So we should try to help fellow human beings. Everybody is suffering, whether you're rich or you're poor, whether you're high or you're low, you're suffering. No one is not suffering. It's just different kind of suffering that's there. So this lesson, there's a different learning ability rather than a disability because people with, as I mentioned to you about the brain just now, the anatomy of the brain is different, the structure of the brain is different, okay? The neuron firing activity in the brain is different, the wavelength coming from the brain is so different as well. So because of that, children, people with LD, learning difficulties, they process information differently. So they take a longer time to process. It takes me a longer time to process. But I can still process. I can still study. So that's why some children take longer time to finish their homework. It's a puzzling mix of strength and talent. These are the people look at. As I mentioned to you, all the people, the next slide, everybody, if you look at these people, they're all the famous world people. They're all successful. Look at Bill Gates today. He's the one that came out Microsoft. Right? Their brains are different. But these are the ones that couldn't finish, some of them couldn't finish high school, no? They can't finish high school, don't go to university. So everybody is different. Every child is different. Does it make sense? And the brain is based on neurons, yeah. So neurons are very fire. That's how the firing, the connectivity is there. Okay, next one. Now, if your child doesn't finish the homework, try to give up easily, rush to the assignment, avoid reading, or most of, it's very painful for learning difficulties to be mistaken for low intelligence. I've seen a lot of children. I've treated many children. I've turned them around. Recently, I had another one boy from Brunei. He was diagnosed with ADHD. And he was on wrestling for 3 years. When he came in to see me, I said, no eye contact. In school, he was bullied. After school, he'll be in the room, hiding in the room. So, a mother brought me to see him. I treated him. But after I treated him, I know that inside him is very damaged. And I decided to psychotherapy on him. I certainly want to do psychotherapy on children. But these days, because I felt that this boy really needed it. And the mother impressed me a lot. If the mother doesn't impress me, I would not do it either. Because it's your child, it's not my child. The mother is a very nurturing mother. So I told the mom, I said, okay, you come back and stay in Singapore for 2 weeks. So every morning, every afternoon, the boy will come to my clinic. I work on him. And last year, his school invited me over to Brunei to give a talk. and I was interviewed on the radio in TV as well. And the lady who interviewed me, when she saw the boy on the video, she said, I know this boy. Chinese New Year I used to go to his house because we are distant relatives. Hey, surprised that he's now so changed. And when I gave a talk in the school, this boy went up on stage to give a talk about himself. So totally changed one. And the father always tell me, I'm so grateful you gave my son back to me because I thought that I lost him. He was only diagnosed. He has no ADHD. Slowly I took away the medication from him. They're not giving any medication anymore. And he's doing well, very well with son. He's gone into secondary school now. Okay, now the next one. Now I show you this video about this Indian girl. She's 10 years old. I gave a talk at the school, and after my talk, the principal sent her straight to me. Very hardworking girl, very religious, but struggling a lot. Couldn't fight so hard to copy from the whiteboard. And we didn't know why, what's the problem. Mother again, get on the job, quit the job, just to help her. But from primary 1 to primary 4, she has never passed the exam. When she came to see me, she was in primary 4. Okay, yeah, you have a look at this video. And you'll see how much she struggled. That sound? Other sound? Good, you found out. I asked her to copy one line. She's already 10 years old, primary 4. Look at her, how she has to struggle. Is it hard to copy? Why is it hard to copy? She said it's very hard to copy because you see the word swimming. I'm going to try to examples for you. This is the treatment. I figured her with the lenses. And can you copy now? Can you do the next one? Okay. Instead of writing is more normal and so smooth and quicker. Okay, yeah, stop it. Want to buy food. And then after buying food, she said, Mommy, read to me. She will just copy read one line. Louder. She said the words are jumping around and they make seesaw. Is the word act like words? Can you read? Cannot read. Okay. And what does it, how does it make you feel? She feels dizzy most of the time. The mother sent for MRI, scan the brain, but there was nothing wrong with the brain. Yeah. Now, can you read now? You can? Do you still feel burning? No more. It still feel? Okay, can you read for me? The first time she read through the whole page, the mother just let it crack here. And now she found the reason why she's not reading anymore. See the stop strip doesn't understand. What do they mean by the word jumping around? They make seesaw. Some of them when you read, this is what you see. The words are blurring away. Different people will see different things. Huh? Some see the words, some words are clearer, sharper, some words are blurry, or some are close enough. A lot of them see hello. I have a ball at the front of the pilot. So Daddy, when I put the ball in the sky, one ball becomes two more. Just see hello. Some see the word is a bit like river, a bit like ripple. I have children that see the word bigger plant. That's why if they see distortion, the writing, you can say the writing is very uneven. Yeah, that's what the word says. Words are jumping around, they meet seesaw, swinging around, which is what they see. The Indian girl and the little girl. So can you imagine your child is like this? How do you expect the child to read? So there's no point in punishing the child. Something shaky. I got one child said, Mommy, when I put the thing on washing machine, this is what I see the word become like this. I see like this. After 40 minutes of reading, I see like this. But I didn't know it was a problem. When I was young, my mom always bring me to an optical shop, and every time they increase my power. So by the time I was 12 years old, my power was really 700. It's because every time I see like this. And some see wash out, words are fading away. Yeah, you go to the video of the brain is not the mind. Maybe, something maybe. This one, especially vertical line. This one, brain is not the mind. I have a parent that taking the child. Irlen syndrome is called, vision dyslexia is called Irlen syndrome. And it is perceptual visual processing disorder in the brain. Because when the eye looks at something, the brain has to process the information. So the brain has problem processing the information correctly. Yeah. And it's a built-in ability to encode and decode visual information. Okay. What happens if you have Irlen syndrome? Actually, because information is transmitted from the eye to the brain through, and in the eye, along the neural pathway, there are two types of cells. One is the plasma cell, one is the nano cell. These are all technical, okay? Yeah. So what happens is that for people who have this vision dyslexia, the brain, there's a deficit in nano cells. And because of that deficit in nano cells, light has frequency. So certain light frequency gets into the eye, and it causes the brain to overload. So when a child's brain is overloaded, Mommy, I want to go and drink water. It's always they need that frequent brain because the brain overload. There are eye specialists. The eye specialists look at the eye as an organ. Whether the eyes are RP or Stargardt disease and other disease or not. You go to the optical shop, optometrists, they look at your visual acuity. Whereas I'm looking at between the eye and the brain. So it's all different areas. Okay, this is a boy, 8 years old. When I was in Australia, mom is a banker. I treated him. You see the word, I love mommy. You see how he write the word mommy? But after I treated him, below, you see he could write, I love mommy. So these children can study. It's not that they cannot study. But they have a problem. You need to understand their problem, help them, give them the solution, and support them. They can do it. So never write off any child. Every child has their strengths. Every child has their weaknesses. The trouble is in Asia. We always focus on the child weaknesses. Then you see you can't do it. You stupid, You should focus on the child's strength. And motivate your child. You're not pressing him down, not killing him, not killing his esteem. You know, esteem is something that money cannot buy. See the next one. Now these are the symptoms. You look up for children, when they read, they always rub their eyes. Okay? Complain like headache or dizziness. Their writing very uneven. And when they read, they don't full stop, comma. And when they write, no full stop, no comma. Why? Because they can't see the full stop and comma. So when that happens, the comprehension affected. So when they read, also they tend to skip words or lines. Sometimes they go to the next line. For me, when I read those days, I remember I always put a ruler. Not I go to the next line. Or they use their finger as a marker, poor comprehension, poor depth perception. If they have this problem, some of them will have, I have that perception problem. When I drive my car, I can't judge the distance. Sometimes I drive at the stop, I stop. When I reverse my car. So when my husband got a new car, I was very scared. I really don't drive. Because I have that perception problem. You see? Yeah. I remember I treated a boy. He's so scared to go to shopping center because shopping center got the glass really nice. And when he goes, he always got to put his hand out to touch first because he can't see the glass. So sometimes he'll walk through the glass and knock into the glass because they have this problem, that perception problem. Slow to copy, poor financial uneven, so headache, dizziness. Some of them have problems with musical notes. I have one couple, mother and father, both are pianists in Singapore. And they're trying to groom the daughter up, but the daughter fights so hard to play. Every time she plays, she will skip the notes. So when she came to see me after I treated her, now she's doing very well. Yeah. Okay. Now it affects quite a lot of people actually. Usually when they go out, the sun and the bright sunlight is too bright, and these are the children that want to read in dim light, they don't want bright light. So but everybody says, hey, you read in dim light, your eyes spoil. But it's not true. For people with Irlen syndrome, we need to read in dim light. The bright light will cause us headache, will cause my brain to overload. So usually before I go home, if it's in the afternoon, I will call my maid. Please close the curtain of the aircon in my room. Yeah. Because the sunlight will affect me. And early in the morning when I get up, I need to look for my glasses. This is the glasses I'm wearing. So the lenses actually filter out light frequency so that it's being cut out by the lenses. It doesn't get into my brain. So you affect 70% of the spectral population. ADHD, yeah. In fact, Dr. Williams, you see her book, she's a very autistic lady. She wrote in her book that all these years she sees things fragmented until she got herself treated by the Irlen tutor, and she starts seeing everything as a whole. So this boy, the reporter came to see me, to interview me, and I was treating this boy. You see for yourself, very beautiful. His hand and his leg, all the K marks. The mother came him along. Because the mother says, got 4 subjects, I got 4 children for him. And yet he get last in class. But the mother didn't know that he's got this problem. Okay, the next one. Yeah. What are the causes and conditions of now this more and more children having learning difficulty or difficulties. You have to look at pregnancy. Sometimes the mother pregnant, they may be under certain medication, or they take certain drugs. Yeah. And delivery could be long distress, long labor, distress birth. Maybe not enough oxygen goes to the brain. Okay. Environmental, a lot of pesticide, chemicals in the environment. Developmental, very important. Nowadays, I tell you, a lot of babies don't crawl. I always ask, does the baby crawl? No. Because some of this mother, father all working. Who look after the baby? The maid. So the maid carry the baby, only put the baby down when they sleep. Because they don't look after the baby, right? And then the baby come back and scolding, right? So the baby has no chance to crawl. And some baby, before they learn to walk, mother very anxious, buy a walker, put the baby on the walker. So the crawling and the walking, getting up, balance and drop again and get up. All these are so important. Because when the baby crawls, the palm is on the floor, the knees is on the floor, they got to push the buttock. That activity actually stimulates the left part of the brain, the synaptic area. So when the baby don't crawl, the part of the brain is not stimulated. So the neurons are not firing. When I teach a child, usually I look at the parents as well, and there are many parents who treat it at the same time. Now, do you know that crawling, rolling, balancing develops the brain breathing mechanism? And it's also very sad these days. In fact, I just had a research, my friend sent me a research a few weeks ago. In America, they found that there's a surge in a rise in children with learning disabilities. Whereas in France, children with learning disabilities is so small, so little. Why? You were asking me. I said, I felt that it's because in US, Singapore follow US. Now the US system is they are using a different approach. They are using biopsychological approach, which means they diagnose, more children are diagnosed with learning disability and they live in drugs, they give medication. And you know US, all the big drug companies are all in US, isn't it? Now in France, their system is the same system as me. I adopt. I always believe in this approach. Physio-psychological approach, which is this. And I always encourage parents, please let your child play. Let them learn to play. Because when there's more activity, the brain has more wiring, more connectivity. I just came back from Nepal. I was in Nepal for 3 weeks. I stayed in the monastery. And in this monastery, there are a lot of children, orphans. The parents cannot afford to keep these children, give them to the monastery. And I was there watching these children, how they play. And one day I locked my room, I left my key in the room. So I was telling this young small monk, I said, hey, I left my key in the room. How to open the door? You know what he did? Small monk, I think he's only 5 or 6 years old, no. He went to my room, he looked around, then he climbed from behind and squeezed inside through and go inside, open the door for me. And I saw them play. It's midnight, because I come down for dinner. Then I saw them play. They play board game. They draw on the floor to the board. And they use stones and play. I watched them. I watched them fight. How they fight? So interesting. And how they negotiate. After fighting, they negotiate and be right back again. Now these are also social skills which children don't have these days. You go to your friend's house, does your friend's children come and say, hello auntie, how are you? No, right? Children use this as a social skill. So parents are focusing only on the IQ, only everyday tuition, school, comeback tuition, weekend tuition. You only focus on the academic. But as human beings, you should look at the whole. What about the child's social aspect? What about the child's spiritual aspect? The child's mind, the child's esteem, the child's well-being? A person's well-being is a whole, not one. So you only focus on one, you neglect all the rest. When the child grows up, that child is not going to survive very well. No AQ, got IQ, no EQ, no AQ. How to survive? So you can see the bodily movements such as jumping, climbing, dancing create more wiring and improve the level in brain. Because the brain, I understand the brain wiring. So my approach, I always tell parents, play. Every child doesn't learn this one group. every child learns differently. So find out how your child learns, okay? Okay, treatment. Now, early identification is very important. I go around traveling to give talks, and all my talks are free. I do not charge. It's because I believe I need to create the awareness, and I believe it's adding value to my own life. The only way that I can add value to my life is by sharing, and knowledge must be shared. So that, to me, why? Knowledge is power. When you have knowledge, you have power. You have power to handle to cope with your problem. So early identification is important so that you can have early intervention. If you don't identify early, the child will look at those children that I treated. I had saved how many children from suicide? They suicided. One of them, the father wrote me an email. It's all in my computer. The teacher called to complain. The father that night went back after a hard day, a lousy day in the office. He took out his belt and whacked the child. The boy that night tried to hand himself a little saw. That I happened to get a call recently in the school. So the counselor in the school sent him to me. And I treated him. The father wrote me an email. He says that everybody was shocked when he went back to get his report card because everybody knows that he don't do well. But he scored high B for his PSLE. So it's how you handle the child. Children are very easy to handle. You need to connect with them. You need that connection and that understanding. And don't forget, they are our future, no? Yeah? Now, early spectral filter, the lens are vary, but we move out all the wavelengths are like the cause of visual problem. Visual barrier suddenly has to be removed. Once this is removed, like the girl, the word like jumping, once I treated her, she's doing very well.